Okay, I said in the last one I wanted to do serial killers and stuff, and I thought what a better way than to introduce Macabre, I guess, to the channel. Talk about an album that doesn't get talked about a lot. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of go over the serial killers that are on the album that they talk about, because Macabre, every song's about a serial killer. Um, go in order. I'm probably going to do the first 7 tracks today, and then the other ones at another time, either tomorrow or this weekend or something like that. I'm not going to do daily videos, but figured I'd try and do this one because I've had the idea for a little bit to review Macabre, and especially go over the serial killers, because when a lot of times when I listen to Macabre, I don't really know the killers because sometimes they pick some niche ones. Not all of them are well known. A lot of these are, I feel like, though. So we'll go in order. The first 7 songs. I'll just go over the band real fast, though. Band is Macabre. This is the album Grim Scary Tales. I think it came out, should have looked it up, 2010, 2011. Somewhere around there, I want to say. Maybe before that, I don't know. I'll put it maybe in the description or something. Oh yeah, it says 2011 right here, copyright. Okay. So, the band Macabre, you got Dennis the Menace on drums. Absolutely insane drummer. Corporate Death on guitar and vocals. Probably everybody's favorite part about Macabre, or at least my favorite part. This one has a lot of different vocal parts, vocal melodies. Each song pretty much has a different vocal approach, which that's something he does intentionally, obviously. And then we got Nefarious on bass. The way he plays bass is so unique. If you've never seen him play, look up a live video of Macabre. Yeah, Corporate Death, he plays a 7-string guitar. Nefarious, he plays a 6-string bass. So, here, let me open up my notes here. We got the first one. First song is called Locusta. Locusta. I'm gonna pronounce all these names wrong. I already know. So yeah, the serial killer Locusta, and then the song Locusta. Probably one of the first serial killers to be documented. I tried looking it up. A lot of people said, either H.H. Holmes, Gilda Ray, and it's like you get different different answers. But she's probably one of the first that's been documented. She was a notorious poison maker in the 1st century Roman Empire. She was active in the final 2 reigns of the Julio and Claudian dynasty. Julio, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Also said to have took part in the assassinations of Claudius and Britannicus. Then the Emperor Nero favored her for several years and had her train his other poisoners for him and stuff like that. So we're gonna get to Nero in the next song. He's pretty crazy. And then we'll get into it in the next song. But Nero kills himself. And Galba, is this dude's name? Galba put Locusta to death. He also put a couple other people to death, and he said, and quote, others of the scum that had come to the surface to Nero's day. So pretty much everybody associated with Nero got the fucking axe to the head, basically. There's a lot of different accounts of how she died. I think everybody agrees that she was chained and kind of escorted through the city type of thing, but they don't really know how they killed her. Probably like a beheading or something, but some people think that she was raped by a giraffe and torn apart by animals, which in the song, it's got the line, Locusta was caught and paid for her crimes in a matter that was typical. She was raped by a trained giraffe and torn apart by animals. So I'm going to turn this light on above me. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to read. Bring some more light, I guess. So that's pretty much it for what she did. She was just a poisoner. We don't know, I think, how many people she killed. Probably just whoever Nero wanted. And so I'd say probably over a dozen people, probably more. So the song, when it starts off, the bass just cuts right through. I wish I could say that for the rest of the album. There's some parts here and there, but for the most part, I think it kind of gets buried, or at least my ears can't pick it up as well. Very heavy opening track. It reminds me of Grim Reality a lot. The way the riffs are on this, the one riff, pretty much how the lyrics line up with it. It's like it kind of hits the same note. It kind of sounds like tapping a little bit. It's like now, 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 and then the bass underneath it is like down, down, down. I'm probably butchering that, but it's very it invokes the Macabre style really well. The early shit, I think. Dennis has some awesome fills during that part where it's doing that. He's like doo 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 doo. He's doing shit like that. The double bass is awesome, and then the solo in the song, really good, short but sweet. Then the next song, Nero's Inferno, is about Nero Caesar. He was, I guess Locusta. I didn't go into her birth or death. We don't know when she was born, but she died 69 A.D. Then Nero Caesar, 37 A.D. to 68 A.D. So he killed himself right before Locusta was put to death. I think she died like in January of 69 because that dude that killed her, he only was like a leader until like January 15th of 69 AD or something like that. And she died in 69, so she probably died right at the beginning of the year, and then Nero probably just a couple months before that or something. But Nero was the fifth and final Roman emperor of the Julio and Claudian dynasty. See, I'm fucking that up. It's probably, I don't know how to pronounce it. Fuck it. He is infamous for his extreme extravagance. He was like big into art and shit, and that's why a lot of people, I think, didn't like him. He's kind of like, I don't know, fucking a Redditor or something, trying to push all of his shit onto people. He's like, look how artsy I am, and everybody's like, we don't give a fuck. So that kind of left a sour taste in his mouth, basically. Infamous for his tyranny and debauchery. So this guy, we'll get into some stuff. I don't bring up everything on this, just kind of the standout stuff that everybody knows about him. So while Rome was burning in 64 AD, it is alleged that he was outside playing his lyre, which he's like fiddling on it and shit. So this led people to suspect he was behind the fire, and of course he denied it, and he blamed the Christians and ordered a bunch of Christians to be killed by dogs or burned alive. So that's a lot of his casualties were Christians, probably. And then he also just like ran around the city, or he ran around Rome just killing people, I think, too, in this song. Hold on, let me look at the lyrics real fast. When he was young, he liked to prowl around the streets at night, attacking men on their way home, killing them with a knife. Then later in life, he would dress in skins of animals, leaping from a den, attacking people tied to poles, with men and women tied to stakes, unable to defend themselves. Nero would attack them by biting off their genitals. So I didn't really see anything like that when I was looking him up, but and the way he says all this stuff too, he's got a Italian accent, but I'll get into that when I talk about the song. So yeah, he killed a bunch of Christians, or he had them killed. And then he killed his mother. He was trying to assassinate her for a while, and then eventually he was like, fuck it. Had some soldiers go out and kill her, I think. In the song it says he killed her to see where he came from, but I don't think he did. I think soldiers killed her, and he said, stab her in the womb that bore her son. So he had some resentment towards her, it seems like. And he also killed like wives, like the wives he had, his stepbrother, I think, and then probably a couple other people in his family, but for some reason I didn't write that down and I can't remember who all he killed. But his erratic behavior financial excess. He was blowing a lot of the money building a palace after Rome burned down. So, he's like, oh, I didn't burn Rome down. And then immediately where everything was burnt, he built a fucking huge palace for himself. Like, huge, just for himself, too. So, that kind of got some eyes on him. And he also killed, like, 22 people in the Senate. And then, obviously, they're like, well, we have to declare him a public enemy because he keeps killing our people. So, he fled. He was supposed to be executed. He fled to a nearby like village or something, and then his secretary helped him stab himself in the throat. I couldn't really pin down a number on how many deaths he's responsible for, but I read as many as 5,750 different like massacres and stuff that he did, while also killing the people in Rome and the Christians and everything. I think some Egyptians or something as well. On this song, like I said, Dennis, he does some, not Dennis, Corporate Death does some, like, Italian vocals, he's like, Nero's Inferno, shit like that, and he's got, like, Italian kind of type of guitar sounding, like, jumpy beats and stuff, and then Dennis really is able to shine through because he's doing all this crazy stuff over this, not simple stuff, but it's not, a metal type song, but he's able to do all these, it keeps the song moving, I think. The melodies are really good, like I said, the Italian melodies. And this might be one of the weirdest Macabre songs, I think, on top of the guitar, the Italian accent. Obviously, a lot of them are weird, but I don't know. For me, it's just one that I always go to if I want something very macabre sounding. There's another one we're going to talk about that's very macabre as well. Next song, The Black Knight. And I thought I'd bring up this album right here, Butchered at Birth. I know it has the Corpse Grinder logo. I don't have one with the original logo. I wish I did. But you may know this guy, Black Knight, if you have this CD. This writing that's right here is a confession, I think, from Gilda Ray, The Black Knight. So, give it a read if you have the CD, or if your copy even has it. I don't know if that's just a one-off or if all the copies have the confession letter. But this guy, the Black Knight, so Gilda Ray, he was alive from 1405 to 1440, a French nobleman and comrade in arms of Joan of Arc. He served as one of the captains during the 100 Years' War, which took place from 1337 to 1453. So he had a very successful military career. And then let me look at the song. Yeah, he played a crucial role, I guess, in France's victories and stuff. It says here in the song, which, if you ever read the lyrics, some stuff doesn't line up. Obviously, who knows where he was getting his information. He might have just had a book, or I know he gets his information online now. Corporate Death, he does all the lyrics. And not to forget, but Nefarious, the bass player, he does backing vocals as well. But so who knows where he gets his information from? I'm not knocking him, because I know when I wrote some songs in the past about Robert Berdella, I put some stuff in there that might not have been factual, but who cares? It's all cool anyway. So, after a successful military career, he began luring children ages 6 to 18, mostly boys but some girls, into his castle. Witnesses and confessions that he made detailed that children were tortured, sodomized, and murdered, often by decapitation. And the reason why he did this was probably mainly sexual, but he was spending a lot of money on, I don't know, I think he went bankrupt. I don't know how. I don't know if he was spending money on this shit, but he was big into the occult and alchemy and stuff, and black magic in general. And he was going bankrupt, so he was trying to use the blood and body parts of the children to summon a demon. And I don't know if he was trying to, get some riches back from that or not. But unfortunately, it never worked, and he killed anywhere from 80 to 600 children. I think the most is probably 200, but he said he killed over 100, I think. So who knows how many he killed, and some people think he didn't even kill any kids at all. So because he was tortured to confess, obviously, which that happens a lot. He disposed of the body parts by, or just the bodies in general, by burning them in the chimneys in his castle, dumping them into moats, or burying them in dungeons. So he'd probably have his servants do all that, and his servants were actually in on it. I think he had 2 servants that helped him. They didn't get prosecuted or nothing for the murders. But yeah, they would, him and his servants would keep the head sometimes, and because he liked to admire the heads and the limbs of the kids and everything, supposedly. And as soon as he was suspected of the crimes, he ordered all the skeletons to be removed. I think it was 40 skeletons or something like that. So he was eventually convicted. He was convicted of the crimes. He was hanged and then burned at the stake. Yeah, and I already went over his reasonings, for summoning a demon, basically, is why he wanted to do it. But he also, in the song, there's the line, Gilderay was the man who cut up the French children. What Gilderay would do then is masturbate on their organs. I didn't really see that anywhere, but he probably did that. That seems like a lot of people talk about that, so I might not have been looking at the correct source when I was doing my research. So for the song itself, I'm right here. Dennis, in certain parts of the song, it's not really blasting, I guess I would call it. He does this where he goes, and this isn't my analogy of it, but J-Dog from Dead by Dog said it sounded like somebody shooting like a machine gun, like which that kind of, I can see why he thought it, and it's pretty badass when those parts come up. A lot of the vocals on this song are just kind of him talking, until like the chorus and shit. So when it goes into the Gilderay, he's like, Gilderay! He does that shit. And then he does, in the breakdown, he does some cool vocals, I think. Good solo, too, on this song, and just great guitar work. I can't really remember any bass lines off it. I don't think I could really hear it. So yeah, that's Gilderay, and the next one we got the song Dracula, which obviously is about Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler, or Vlad Dracula is his name. He's Vlad III. Born in 1431 and died in 1476. Vlad Dracula was Voivode, which I thought that was Voivod, the band. I didn't know what that was really until I looked this up. Voivode of Wallachia. He was the Voivode 3 times between 1448 until his death. So like 3 times in between that. I think he kept getting like fucking imprisoned or something, and then he kept coming back. If you don't know anything about Vlad the Impaler, you got to look it up, because there's so much stuff that I couldn't really fit into this. I didn't really want to talk about how he became ruler. I just kind of wanted to talk about what he did to the invaders and shit that were coming into his country. He is best known for his extreme brutal methods of punishment. He'd impale enemies on stakes to deter Ottoman Turks to expand on the land. Like, he didn't want them coming, obviously, because he was a Christian, I believe, right? He's a Christian ruler or something. He was a ruthless leader who'd use torture, mainly burning and skinning people alive, which the skinning people, I knew this before I did the research. Maybe it's false information, but he used to skin the bottom of people's feet, put salt in the wounds, and then have a goat lick the salt out. So I thought that was pretty cool. I want to do a song or something about that at some point. And then, obviously, a lot of people view him as a villain, but I think still in Romania, he's still viewed as like a stern but principled defender against foreign invaders. I mean, that's kind of topical for the issues we're having nowadays. He is suspected to have killed between 40,000 to 100,000, with 20,000 being just impalements. But new research kind of points more towards 2,000 to 4,000 people. I'm just going to say 100,000 people because that seems pretty badass. Most of the people were Ottoman Turks and Bulgarians, you know, because he wanted to scare them off. So he'd fucking kill a bunch of them and then impale them on stakes and shit, which the cover, that is Vlad the Impaler, obviously. And they turned him into, you know, a vampire for the cover, which that's probably the best Macabre cover, I think. That's pretty much about it for Vlad the Impaler. And then his death. He was most likely killed in battle by Turkish soldiers and beheaded. Probably just, you know, for his enemies to kind of have a reward of his death because, you know, he fucking did a lot of damage. So the opening riff to this song might be the heaviest riff of all time, I think. It doesn't stay very long. It comes back in at the end of the song. The song's not very long, but it's like 5 minutes or something like that, which that's kind of long for me. The vocal effects when he gets into the chorus makes it, I don't know, very creepy sounding to me at least. And then he has like these chords that he's playing over, like, you know, the underneath the vocals and shit. It just makes it so like, it's like in my head it's flat. It's like this cover when that chorus kicks in and the chords come in and shit. It's just so fucking, it's like menacing. You know, that's the correct word I think I'm looking for. Menacing sounding. So yeah, that's pretty much it about Dracula. I don't think it's the best song on the album, but that riff at the beginning is very heavy. Probably the heaviest riff of all time. I think so. Very, no, I wouldn't say Iommi-ish, but it's up there for me with all the Iommi riffs. Then this next one is called The Big Bad Wolf. This guy, Gilles Garnier. Fuck, I don't know. I'm not pronouncing that right. Gil Garnier, because it's kind of spelled the same way as... Is it spelled the right? Yeah, Gil de Ray, Gil Garnier. Okay, it's spelled the same, and he's also French, so... we don't know when he was born, but he died in 1574. Gil Garnier was a French serial killer, cannibal, hermit, and werewolf. So... that's why the song is called Big Bad Wolf. He was convicted of murdering 4 children from 1572 to 1573. They don't know if it was between that or he killed one year and then the next. We don't really know. But he was convicted of murdering 4 children and being a werewolf. So that's something you could get punished for back then, obviously. Before the crimes, he was actually already dubbed the Hermit of Saint Bonnet. But later, he obviously became the Werewolf of Dole. So he said while hunting in the woods, a demon appeared to him and offered him an ointment that would allow him to change into a werewolf or wolf to become a better hunter or something. And he admitted to have stalked and murdered at least 4 children, ages 9 to 12. So this is probably going to be the most graphic description of the crimes I'm going to go into, at least for this video. I don't think the other ones that are very graphic, though. This might be the worst dude on here. Well, Gil de Ray, but we don't really have a lot of graphic details from him, I don't think. But this one is kind of graphic. So the first murder was a boy, either the age 12 or 13. He was torn in half, in quotes, with bites and his belly torn open. So this guy's, found a boy, ripped him in half and ate parts of him or just bit him. And then the next one was a girl, either age 10 or 12. He dragged her through a vineyard, strangled her, removed her clothes, and ate the flesh from her arms and thighs. After he was done eating her, he then took some flesh for his wife to cook. I don't know if his wife knew that it was meat from a kid, or if she just thought, she didn't know what it was. And The next victim, 10-year-old boy, was cannibalized as well. He ate from his thighs and belly and then tore a leg off to eat later. The next boy was saved by villagers, and then a girl was bit, scratched, and strangled. Villagers stopped the attack, but sadly the girl succumbed to her injuries a few days later. So he must have really fucked her up, you know. He's like biting her and scratching her and shit. And she died from probably blood loss or infection, probably. He was found guilty of lycanthropy and witchcraft and burned at the stake. So yeah, it's pretty much this dude. Pretty fucked up. I think accounts actually said that they're like, oh yeah, he was a human, but then some people were like, oh no, when he was doing these people, when the villagers stopped him, they're like, dude, he's a werewolf. So who knows if he was really a werewolf or not. The song, very catchy. It takes the, you know, such big eyes, such big ears, that, you know, those lines from Little Red Riding Hood and puts them into the song. So it's a very creepy, you know, because of this guy's crime, and then they take the nursery rhyme, which this might be the most macabre sounding song ever. I know I said Nero is the weirdest, but this one, you know, it's like the nursery rhyme, the fucked up killer. I think the only other one that kind of hits this way for me is like Vampire of Dusseldorf with the jingle, and then Wheels on the Bug about Ted Bundy on the last album they put out. So yeah, it might be the creepy fairy tale parts of the song really kind of you know, turn it into a scary reality of the, you know, from the fairy tale to the guy actually killing people. So this next one, I'm not really going to dive into it too much because it's a cover song. It's a cover from Venom Black Metal, Countess Bathory, which, where is it on here? I mean, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, the song Countess Bathory by Venom. They did a cover because obviously they wanted to do Bathory, Bloody Mary. And obviously Venom has one. It's probably one of their most popular songs, either that or black metal. And I don't know. I think I'll go into the song. I guess I'll just talk about Countess Bathory real fast. Countess Bathory, alive 1560, died 1614. So Bathory was a Hungarian noblewoman, an alleged serial killer from the powerful House of Bathory. They owned land in the Kingdom of Hungary. Bathory and 4 servants were accused of torturing and killing hundreds of girls and women from 1590 to 1610. She was convicted of 80 murders as well, were probably her servants and stuff. And she died in her sleep in prison in 1614. So this was pretty crazy. 300 people testified against her, having described physical evidence in the presence of mutilated, dead, dying, and imprisoned girls. So some people say she wasn't guilty, and it was just they were just saying that to kind of ruin her image and get her in, you know, obviously put her in prison. But I don't know, dude. 300 people testified. But the song, I'm just gonna say, Macabre does Venom justice. The vocals are spot on. The riffs are spot on. You know, I think they kill it. I normally skip this one too because I'm not a big cover fan. I want originals mainly, but still a fucking badass song. And then this is the last one we're going to talk about today. Burke and Hare. Burke was alive from 1792 and he died in 1829. And Hare was alive 1792, and we don't know when he died. You'll see why here soon. So their full names, William Burke and William Hare, born the same year as well. And I wanted to show off this. Exhumed. I don't remember when this came. 2017 it says. This is a concept album about Burke and Hare. Hopefully I'm saying Hare right. That kind of sounds goofy, but yeah. I haven't listened to this all the way, but I opened it up, looked at like the lyrics and shit. Just the whole vibe of this is awesome. It's like almost like a play, almost the way it's set up. And also what I thought was pretty cool, the the dude Michael Burke. He plays rhythm guitar. His last name's Burke. I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I just thought that was cool. You know, that guy's last name is actually Burke. Maybe it's not, but I think it is. And then obviously you got Ross Sewage, Matt Harvey, and you have Mike from Deeds of Flesh on drums. I don't know. I'm excited to delve into this album or this CD because of, you know, William Burke and stuff. William Burke and William Hare. I just haven't had the time to listen to it yet. I've listened to a couple songs and, like I said, looked at the lyrics, but I'm excited. Kind of reminds me of the Dahmer album by MACABRE, you know, concept serial killer album. But yeah, this is the last one. I'll wrap it up here, and then I'll go over the other people in a different video. So we got all the way down to here. Then we have all these left. I'll do those in another video. So yeah, the song is called Burke and Hare. So Burke and Hare committed 16 murders in Edinburgh, Scotland. Their reign lasted 10 months. They were killing people. They used to rob graves, but since it was becoming so like prolific with people robbing graves in the area, they put like cages. It's a different word, but they put like the cage thing around the grave so they couldn't rob them. And then I think Hare's roommate died or something like that, and then he's like went to Burke and he was like, what should we do with this guy? And then they sold him, and he sold for like $700 or something. And they're like, fuck, dude, we need to start selling more bodies, you know, like not, you know, more fresh bodies, I guess. And they started killing like homeless people and like poor people on the street, and they'd like lure them down into a basement, I think, or something like that, with the help of their wives. I think their wives were in on it. And then eventually somebody found the body, or the body of their last victim, and then an investigation started, and they arrested Hare, and he confessed to the crimes, but then he's like pretty much Burke did mostly everything, like it was his idea. So this granted Hare immunity, and Burke was hanged. Burke was publicly dissected, or he was hanged, publicly dissected, and displayed at like a college or like anatomy place or something like that. And I also read that his skin was used to bind a pocketbook. I don't know if that's true or not. I think it might be. I think it might be real. I think I read that somewhere else before I did this research. But we don't know what happened to Hare. He kind of got off scot-free pretty much. So we don't know how he died. So the song, it starts off with a very heavy riff. The chorus is catchy, you know, it's Burke and Hare, a very greedy pair, that type of shit. So the double bass in the middle parts in the bass guitar stand out a lot. It's like, that's probably my favorite part of the song, as well as the beginning riff. I think that's everything, though, for this first half of the album. I'll go over the rest, obviously, like I said, another time, but we're already at almost 35 minutes, so, and I only went over 7 songs. So, yeah, part 1 of Macabre Grim Scary Tales review. And the album I have playing in the back, hold up, I got the uncensored cover, Impetigo. I always forget the name, Ultimo Mondo Cannibale, and obviously, rest in peak, Mark. Just an awesome album. Obviously, I can't show the uncensored cover because it's got some dicks, titties, and cannibalism on it, but that's what we got going on. So these aren't going to be a daily thing, but figured I already had a lot of the research done and everything, and the idea was in my head. So that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching.